mediate between her and Mr. Were.
Yes.
In your conscience, from your earlier interaction with the minister, you also believed that you were best suited to do that job?
You know, I love my country so much, and I would want to solve any problem which my abilities can allow.
And indeed, she agreed with your call for a negotiation and reconciliation.
Yes, sir.
Meaning you were really close friends.
During the time of the speakership election, we came closer because I was a key leader.
And you continued interacting quite often.
Yes.
No more answers, Mr.
Chair, just one. I want him to put it on record.
Yes.
This petition, was it your idea or the idea of the minister given to you?
It was my idea, purely my idea.
Mr. Job,
Yes.
as Honorable Amos comes in those 2 weeks, did you receive a token of 6 million appreciation for the whistleblowing?
No.
Have you ever received a token of 6 million?
No.
Okay. Honorable Amos.
Thank you, Chair. We appreciate your cadreship. Recently, you even featured on the Capital Gang, where you vehemently expressed your opinion. And someone saw you being helped. You were delivered at the offices of the Capital FM. Do you remember the person who gave you a lift?
I went there with the border. Yes. I went there with the border.
Honorable
Chair, I'm just taking him back. You said you were the coordinator for the late speaker while he was contesting for the speakership race.
Yes.
Yes. And given that the speaker looks for votes among the members of parliament,
Yes.
and you were the media coordinator,
Yes.
perhaps can you give us more detail? What exactly were you doing? Because perhaps you have an alibi, someone you've worked with concerning media or members of parliament, because I've only got to see you after this petition, and most of us here. So you give us more information on that. What were you doing?
Thank you very much, my Honorable Masaba. Indeed, my role was to defend my candidate against the massive blackmail that was sponsored by forces that be. So that was my role on Twitter. And I led a very courageous team, and we defeated the opponent.
Going back to the talk show you had on was it Capital Radio? You had a talk show?
Yes.
When you started talking about these issues.
Yes.
You say you went to the studios by Boda.
Yes.
And what did you come back? What means did you use to come back from the studios? The same Boda?
I still used my same Boda. Even I
Okay.
came here today with Boda. He's waiting for me. Yes.
Do you know the vehicle, the official vehicle of the minister, Honorable Betty Amongi?
I have seen that in the Ministry of Gender that day when I went on 15th. It is a party on the left as you are entering.
When you were at the studios of Capital Radio,
Yes.
either entering or coming out, since for you used the Boda,
Yes.
did you see that vehicle there in the neighborhood, in the compound of the studios of Capital Radio?
I did not see. No. Because I spent some time there. After the talk show, I had to talk to my senior. That's the Honorable Lydia Wanyoto. You know, she's a SEC member and senior to me. I could not leave without talking to the senior. I also talked to Honorable Katesi, and I had wanted to talk to Mr. Sekatawa, but the media kept him busy. So I spent some time there before I exited.
Have you ever moved in that vehicle? Have you ever sat in that vehicle?
No. I've never moved with it, and I've never sat in it. It's a vehicle of the Honorable Minister. I'm not a minister. That would be very, very serious disrespect.
Honorable Baka, lastly.
Ndugukada,
Yes.
don't you think you have given us enough evidence? And we should says thank you for others also to come?
I leave that to you because you are the judges, so I cannot decide for the judge.
Okay, Honorable Masao.
Chair, sorry to take you back. He said he saw the car of the minister parked somewhere on the Ministry of Gender. You've just said it.
Yes,
Yeah, and it's on
true,
record.
true, yes, true.
You saw it when you were coming here.
Not here. On the
How-
15th, when I went to pick the response,
No, you've said you've seen it parked something to do on the right, and you
I-
know it very well.
I was asked, have you ever seen that vehicle? My answer is yes. Where? I saw it on 15th when I went to pick the response to my letter.
How did you know it was for the minister, Betty?
Yes?
How did you know it was for the Minister of Gender, Betty Amon?
The parkings are clearly labeled. If you go there in the parking yard, the parkings are clearly labeled. One for the minister and the other. Because there are 6 ministers in that ministry. They are labeled. So I saw the label.
Now, the letter you wrote on 14th December 2022 to the ministry
Yes.
was received on 14th December.
Yes. And for your clarity, letters to the minister there. Huh? This is the letter. If you are taking a letter to ministry in that ministry, for the minister, it goes direct to the secretaries, to their secretary. But for me, I took my letter to registry because I wanted that stamp received very much.
Okay, very good. You took this letter to the registry,
Yes.
but it still went to the minister, cabinet minister.
Yes.
The letter is addressed Honorable Minister, Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development.
Yes.
How did the registry know which specific minister you were referring to?
If you address a letter to a minister, then it goes to the senior minister. The rest are juniors.
So you went to the ministry,
Yes.
you went to the registry,
Yes.
you gave them a letter that was blank. It's written Honorable Minister, not even Cabinet, Honorable Minister, Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development.
Yes.
And the registry in their minds knew that, okay, he's referring to Honorable Betty Among.
Honorable Chair, I have just answered.
And Honorable Betty Among, even after receiving this letter that had no address to which specific minister, writes back to you, but addresses it now to you personally.
Honorable Chair, for me, if you address a letter to a honorable minister, in fact, if I address a letter to you here, even if you have a vice chairperson, it will go to you, the senior. So, in my wisdom, the person in the registry did the right thing.
If you address the letter
Yes.
to chairperson,
Yes.
it will go to me.
Yes.
But if you address a letter to a honorable member and bring it to the registry here,
Yes.
how will the registry know that this letter is going to this minister?
Honorable Chair, the other question is not now mine. Maybe you can call the people in the registry to explain that to you.
Now, honorable member, the witness before us committed perjury, but we wouldn't want to set a precedent where we intimidate whistleblowers, or you are no longer a whistleblower because everyone knows you anyway. Where a petitioner fears to come to Parliament for fear of being arrested. It is upon us to look at whatever information we have received and whatever we have heard and see what is admissible and what is not admissible. It is upon that background I will not send Mr. Job to the CID because we wouldn't want people to fear to come and give information. However, Mr. Job, I will warn you, the next time you swear an oath and you lie, or should we discover that anything you have told us after this is a lie, the committee will make recommendations in as far as this report is concerned, and should they find you again guilty for the third time, then you'll have committed perjury and the law will take its course. But otherwise, we thank you. You have just given us a very important document. Honorable members, get time and look at it. However, it's now 2:30 and we have not had lunch. You want to give your concluding remarks before we suspend? Kindly proceed.
Honorable Chair and the honorable members of this wonderful committee, I want to thank you very much for the ruling you have just made. I want you to understand the spirit of my action. I have acted in the interest of this country. And I can tell you, the committee, in its own wisdom, I am praying that you'll find some space to appreciate my courage. What I am doing here, not everybody can do. What I'm doing here, a degree cannot, or PhD can allow somebody to do. It is the courage. It is the absolute courage, because I wanted my country get better. I really appreciate your ruling. And to the other members of the committee who have been following these proceedings, you have really been wonderful. I could see the sense of patriotism in you, in your interrogations of the issues. I am proud of you, and please, as you retreat to look into this issue, at the back of your mind should be Uganda, not any other person. Thank you.
Okay, as you go, maybe you can give us this last response. So the minister gave you documents regarding petitions and the rest. And you used the same documents to petition the same minister to block the reappointment of Byarugaba.
The person I petitioned was Right Honorable Prime Minister. The attention was just drawn. You know, I am good at a documentation process. My language teachers were very thorough. So, the person who is to reappoint Mr. Byarugaba is the Minister for Labor. But the person who was writing that you appoint Mr. Byarugaba was the Right Honorable Prime Minister. So I wrote to the Right Honorable Prime Minister with attention to the person to take action.
So how did you access the Prime Minister's letter?
It was published in the media, New Vision. In fact, it is one of my attachments of the, if you look at the attachment, it's one of my attachments to that thing. Yes.
As I say fair to my colleague, you have really shown the spirit of patriotism.
Yes.
You have started with NSSF. I don't know if in your program there are other departments of government where you are busy fighting corruption.
Honorable Chair, I had just tweeted, if you go on my page at Job Matua, my intention is to spearhead deep acid washing of 10 key agencies or key entities in this country, return this country to normal. Thank you. It is there pinned on my profile.
Meeting suspended to 3 p.m.